Hello, and welcome to Influencer Cop, a place where we expose the lies, the cheating, and the dirty ways of these filthy influencers. Today's subject, the Ned'S Declassified podcast. So, I want to talk about what is trending right now. The Ned'S Declassified podcast members spilling tea, spitting names, and getting messy. Apparently, Lindsay, who was Mose in the show, and Devin, who was Ned in the show, used to date. And beyond that, Lindsay dated, I think, a few of the members in the cast, and there's a viral clip going around, a few of viral clips from their podcast. One of them being Lindsay saying that she's dated and ran through every single member of the cast. Play it.
Dude, I ran through every Ned's cast member before I landed on Devin.
Damn.
Remember that?
The chosen one. You take that one of two ways.
I just remember like telling Theo that I liked him, and we like held hands at the movies.
He's so mysterious. How
And
could you not-
Rob.
Yep.
And then Dev was
Rob's
like,
funny.
hey. And I was like, fuck you guys. Hey.
Yeah, you definitely had your pick.
The next is on a more recent episode where Devin and Lindsay talk about, let's just say, their past, hooking up, all of that stuff.
Do you remember the first that I
What are
gave
you gonna ask on this
you remember?
podcast? First, what?
BJ.
I actually do. You really want to talk about this on the pod?
I just wanted to say that I felt like a failure from that point because
He didn't finish.
I know. Yep.
No.
You didn't. You didn't. After a moment, he just said, "Thanks, okay," and you got up and you went to the bathroom and you did your thing.
No. I don't remember that at all.
So which one do you remember? The one on the couch?
No, I remember the one in the backseat of your car. We can't talk about this on the pod.
Wow.
Dude,
Yeah,
I can't
we got
believe-
busy. We got busy in quite a few places.
Now, I guess because it's kind of shocking and because it was a children's show and we all grew up watching it, now they're like grown up and then talking about how they were getting down with each other. It kind of just like, for some people, it's tainted the show a little bit. We're just like, okay, the innocence of the children's show is like kind of tainted a little bit. And then other people are like, wow, I really love like them just being straight up and real and just telling us how it is. I'm kind of like in the middle of it. The show now is a little bit tainted for me just because like I'm like, okay, so they're all just like hooking up and like dating each other and doing the nasty and their cars and stuff. But then part of me is like, well, it is interesting tea because I didn't know that they dated. I didn't know anything about it. But for me, Ned's Declassified was always the show that wasn't my favorite at the time. Like, I definitely was more into Zoe 101 and like other shows, but I did really, really like that show. And then Cookie the whole time, which is Daniel, he didn't really spill anything that he did on the set, or I don't know if he dated anyone on the set. Not to my knowledge, I don't think he said that. So he's just kind of just giving funny reactions like the whole time. Which he kind of seems like the more like unproblematic one. For me, I don't watch this podcast regularly, so I'm not like a fan of the pod or anything. Some of their takes, I have seen a couple episodes, some of their takes I just like, I'm not really about. I'm like, I don't really like your take on that, but I do like that they are like pretty open and vulnerable with their audience, and they talk about like real SHIT. So that's cool about the podcast. But I do have a little bit of beef with this podcast because they were like really shady to Alexa Nicholas, who, if you don't know, she has like the Eat Predators organization podcast, and she does a lot of work for survivors. And I just really respect her and what she's doing. And I totally think that the way they came from her was uncalled for. So like, I kind of have some like side eye to this podcast from that. But anyways, let's get back to the drama and the tea. So, okay. So yes. So apparently Lindsay Lindsay Coconut Head, which I think his real name is Rob, and then Devin, they had this like messy three-way triangle thing going on. I think that Lindsay dated Coconut Head or something, or like they're messing around or something, and then she went to Devin, and that caused some like mess. And they talk about it a little bit on the pod. Play it.
It got messy and complicated with old Coconut Head and you and me. It got messy and complicated.
Oh, is
with
there
old Rob.
drama?
Yeah, there was drama back in
Oh
the day.
dear God!
heard.
Let's invite him back on to talk about that.
It's in the past, but there was drama between.
But it happens. Yeah, it
does.
gets
like,
messy.
really, and it's so far back there. There's not residual feelings, but like that was big.
I know it's big at that time.
So that's interesting. I don't know like how deep that messiness went. I don't know if there's how much fighting was going on, what was going on, but very, very interesting. But I think that because they went so into detail about Lindsay and Devin, like went a lot into detail about doing things to each other, people are just kind of shaken like a little bit like, I don't really need to know that. So yes, people are kind of just like, well, now the show is tainted for me, a little bit TMI, we don't need to know, a little cringy listening to it, but also, I mean, it's interesting. I had no idea that any of them were dating or like any of the drama that was going on. I was pretty young at this time, so all of that would be just above my brain anyways. But yeah, so this is like major like trending drama going on. I think a lot of people are shook. As just especially about like the delivery of it and like the conversation and like the details of it. Cause like they went into some details about it. But yeah, people are just really shook about this. My opinion is I don't think I can ever look at the show the same now after like hearing all of this information. And that's like one thing. It's like when these like child stars get together and they're talking and they're spilling all the tea about what's happening on set and all the drama, I just can't look at the show the same anymore because I'm just like thinking about what they're saying. It's like the same thing as the shows being exposed for like, the producers and whatever being like predatory to the kids. I can't unsee that now. I can't like watch it and not see the signs of just like weird things they'd make the kids do. So it's kind of like the same in that regard, that now that I know the tea, I know the drama, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's all right. TMI. But at the end of the day, it's whatever. I honestly don't even know where you can watch that show. I would totally rewatch it because that was a funny show, but I don't even know where you can rewatch it. If anyone knows where you can like rewatch Ned'S Declassified, please let me know like what it's on. And tell me your thoughts. Like, what do you think about them sharing all this tea? What do you think about them getting like super detailed about their hooking up and all of that? And you can even tell in the clip that Devin he didn't really seem like he wanted to go there fully, but Lindsay wanted to take it there. She wanted to take it there, and she said like specifically like what she did and the rooms they were in. And everything else, and we're just like, oh. I think the one good thing about it is they said like they didn't do anything like on the actual set, so I'm like, okay, whew, I feel a little better. It's like it's not as like naughty and crazy as it could have been. Like they're doing it off set and whatever. And I guess Lindsay and Devin dated after like the show too. Like they dated, I think, during the show a little bit. I think actually when their two characters got together and after the show. Now, there's some speculation and people saying, oh, I wonder if like the producers kind of push them together in a sense, because a lot of the times, they want to make child stars like date their co-stars just for promotion and publicity. It gets people talking, gets people more interested. They're like, oh, they're really dating and they're dating in the show. That's interesting. There's some speculation that it's like, did the producers like help to push that together or not? I don't know. But I guess all the guys just had a big crush on Lindsay. She had big boobs. And yeah, I guess she just chose whoever she wanted, and that's that's the tea. Do I think it's like a good look to admit that publicly? A lot of people are also saying like, girl, I don't know if that's like a cute, good look that you're like admitting you ran through every member of the cast publicly. It's not really the best look, but I mean, we have to keep in mind like they're kids, they're young and dumb. I don't know. They're in this like crazy situation that not many kids are in, like on this TV show and doing all of that. So I don't know. I'm not gonna like super like judge her for that comment, but you know, people are giving her some side eye for that comment and doing that. That's another thing, but you know, whatever. But yeah, so tell me your thoughts. A definitely interesting tea. And let me know if you want me to make a video about them being shady to Alexa Nicholas and anything else about this pod. Let me know. Make sure to subscribe. Subscribe to a bish. Like the video, please help me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs, honey. So let's go. All right, take care.